Welcome to our new coach chat, our Team Dare to Dream new coach chat. And we do start our new coach kickstart tomorrow, and we are doing it a little differently this time. So we're going to be doing it in the big group so that, you know, really anyone can follow along, anyone can do it again. But for those of you that are actively participating, I want to see you posting in the comment threads of each post, just like we would be doing if we were in a closed group. The intent of this, of putting it into the group like this, is so that it can be self-guided. So say you sign up a new coach next week and they're ready to get started, they don't have to wait until the next new coach kickstart starts. You can direct them to this information, and all the posts will be in a document with links. So it should be very easy for people to do it on their own. I mean, I've heard some coaches that are doing this, they said they might have a coach sign up and they go through the whole 10-day kickstart in 2 days, right? Because that's the pace they want to go at. And then somebody else might go at it slower. So this way, I think it'll be, hopefully it'll be something that'll be useful to everybody and help our coaches learn at their speed. So one of the things I wanted to do now, let's see who on here is a brand new coach, because I'm not seeing a whole bunch of brand new coaches here. LaShonda is. How long have you been a coach, LaShonda?
What was your question?
How long have you been a coach?
Maybe about a week.
All right. Well, you are new then. We'll give you get to play the new card.
Okay.
Amy Lynn, you're still pretty new. I'll let you play the new kid card. I'm trying to think. Leanne, I don't know. You're going awfully fast. I don't know if you can play the new kid card or not, but I'll let you. Rhonda.
I've only been a coach for a couple weeks.
I know. You're already Emerald and you've hit Success Club.
Yes.
But who's counting, right? All right.
Yeah.
Rhonda, you're new. I'll give you that. And then somebody else joined. Who's just joined us on the phone? You're muted. Let me unmute you. Let's see if I can do that. Not letting me. I shall unmute all. Who just joined us on the telephone? So, all right, I'm muting everybody again. All right, so Kelly, do you still consider yourself brand new? Did you go through Kickstart last time? Did you? Okay. So, yeah, you're still new enough to be still new.
I hope so.
Yeah, Paulette, you're not really a new card either. You're Emerald and Success Club, and we just need to talk about, you know, what you're doing with all these amazing customers that you're helping. So we need to kind of figure out what the next step is for you. But let's go ahead. Nicole Greenan just joined. She's a new kid. We'll call her a new kid, even though she hit Emerald last week. We'll give her that. Melissa Mack, hello, you're a new kid. We're just kind of trying to assess who is really a new coach here. Teresa Leslie, I don't know about you. You've been a coach. You've been a coach for a while, but you are like renewed. You're a renewed coach. Teresa Leslie has gone from discount coach extraordinaire to kicking booty coach extraordinaire. She had Emerald and Success Club like the first, 2 weeks that you said, okay, Deb, I'm ready to start being a for real coach. So it's like, great job. Okay, so let's see. I think I still don't know who's on the line with 601 phone number. And then there's an iPhone 2. I don't know who that is. I'd kind of like to know who all's on the line. Can you guys unmute yourself and tell me who you are? It's like, I don't know how to unmute myself. Who's on the line with the 601 area code?
Me, Felicia Smith from Pittsburgh, Mississippi.
Hi, Felicia Smith from Pittsburgh, Mississippi. Someplace in Mississippi. That's so cool. So let's real quick. Teresa, where are you from? Let's just boom, boom, boom.
Jacksonville, Alabama.
Seminole, Florida.
Florida. Kelly.
Detroit, Michigan.
Michigan. Paulette.
St. Cloud, Minnesota.
LaShonda.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh my gosh. Do we have a lot of Southern people on this call for some strange? iPhone 2. Still nobody there? Okay. Say what? Did iPhone 2 speak? Okay. Amy Lynn, where are you from? You're muted again, Amy. Nicole. Nicole Greenan? She's from Ontario. Ontario, Canada. Melissa Mack. You there, Melissa? Melissa. Oh, somebody. Rhonda, you're from Kansas City.
I am.
And then we have Leanne, where are you from? Leanne.
Oh, yeah, sorry. There's like a lot of stack noise. I'm from Bloomington, Illinois.
Okay, Illinois. So we kind of have Midwest and we have Southern states represented. Okay, so that's just, I'd love to hear where we're from because sometimes I'll meet coaches that, you know, or they'll message me and they'll say, do you know anybody that's in my area? And I say that's really irrelevant, is not so much where you're located as just the team that you're on and what you want to do with the business, right? So let's go ahead and I'm going to mute everybody again so that we can not have a lot of static. So if you're getting a lot of noise, sometimes if you wear earphones, like you wear the little earbuds and plug it into your like mic here, then we won't get noise from you, and that way we don't have to mute all the lines. But we're going to mute them for now. How did I learn all this about Zoom calls? Just trial and error. I didn't Google it. Oh, I may have Googled some of it, but it's my favorite answer to any question is, did you FAQ that? Did you Google it? Because that's really where, that's like I like for you guys to be resourceful. So, you know, that was what I did, is I learned how to find information, and that has been an amazing skill. You know, so always before asking a question, I really encourage you to look in some of the 2 most likely places to find the answer, which is your Beachbody FAQ, frequently asked questions, and then your Google. Because almost anything you want to know about Beachbody, if you Google it, you will find YouTube videos from coaches, and like amazing coaches that will give you different perspectives that maybe, you know, you're not getting from Team Dare to Dream. Maybe you have to hear something in a different way, right? Or maybe somebody just has a really awesome way of teaching that particular subject that I haven't done a video on yet. So anyway, that's just another tip for you on how I learned how to do this business. But of course, we are here together to help each other as well. So let's see, we've got a question. Okay, Nicole, she doesn't have a webcam, but she's here so she can hear us. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to start out with going through the New Coach Kickstart. And so if you're on the telephone, you're not gonna be able to see, but maybe you can pull up your New Coach, not Kickstart, your business basics, your business Kickstart that you are doing in your online office. So let me share my screen and I'll show you where that is, just in case anybody is not familiar with this information. Hopefully it's all review for you, but we're gonna hit some things that maybe you don't always hit when you go through it yourself. So we'll go into our Coach Online Office. So this is actually my second business center. So when you hit 2-star diamond, you can open a second business center. And you might wonder, why would you want to do that? It's the same reason why you have your spouse sign up as a coach, because it's an additional revenue stream, right? And so you're thinking, well, but it's all coming into the same bank, right? I mean, Deborah Baska 1, Deborah Baska 2, it's all going to the same bank. Well, it is going to the same bank. But Deborah Baska 2, my mini-me, I call it mini-me, that account earns its own cycle volume. And then Deborah Baska 1 earns cycle volume. So now on a particular set of volume in my downline, I'm earning cycle volume on that twice. Same thing with my husband. He earns cycle volume, and that's a revenue stream for us. My husband doesn't work the business, but he is a revenue stream for my business. It's our business, but you know what I'm saying. And I earn my main account earns cycle volume on that as well. So, you know, really with Deborah Baska 1, Deborah Baska 2, and John Baska, I'm earning cycle volume on that 3 times. It's all a part of our structure. It's totally legit. It's not like playing the system. It's exactly part of teamwork makes the dream work. So that's why I have 2 business centers, and why you want to have your spouse as an account. That's why I have my son as an account. Got my mom on the other side. She's got an account. She earns cycle volume. I earn cycle volume. It's a great source of income for her as well. I mean, she's retired. And then my daughter, she'll have her own source of income too. So, all right. So when you're in your Team Beachbody profile, this is, remember, your profile here, this particular page, teambeachbody.com, is not something you ever send customers to. Every single customer that has a Team Beachbody account, whether it be free or a club account, or whether they're a coach, or whether they even know it, if they have a Team Beachbody, if they show up on your customer list, they have it. They have this screen right here. They have the Team Beachbody account. So this is not a customer, like it's not a coach thing that you would send to people. The reason that you don't want to send people, I mean, yeah, you can shop from here, and this is where you shop from for your own products. But the reason you don't want to send this link to your customers is because this does not tie to you. So if they were to order from the shop button here, and if they did not have an account and they were asked to create one, it would not automatically populate with your Coach ID. So that is why you always send people to your beachbodycoach.com account. And I will ask everyone to post the link to that beachbody.com account. But if you don't know where that is, it's really super easy to find if you've gone through your business starter. So from here, you go into Coach Online Office, because you're already a coach. If you're not a coach, you won't have the option to even go into the Coach Online Office. So a good place to start, and this is something you can tell your customers or your new coaches as well, I mean, is to go into start here, right? There's a CEO welcome. We don't need to go into that video. That's Carl Deichler. But then there's like a how to get started. And basically this is your prerequisites for doing the 10-day kickstart, right? And so one of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to go through this business quick start. And in my email that I send out to my new coaches, it says 7-day quick start guide. They changed it to just be a business quick start, because some people, I mean, really, you can finish this in just a couple hours. You don't have to do it in 7 days. So, and then it also tells you right here how to set up your profile and your website. There's even videos, talks about hitting Success Club and Success Starters. And then it also talks about, things you need to be connected to. So for instance, there's a Coach 411 Facebook page. There's also a Beachbody Champions page that you should be a member of on Facebook. You're going to get a monthly coach newsletter. You're going to want to tune into the National Wake Up Call on Mondays, and those are recorded. So if you cannot listen live, you can do a playback on the computer, like you can do, there's an MP3 recording, or I personally just keep the phone number of the playback in my phone as a saved phone number, because it's a different phone number, and I will just listen to the recording while I'm driving or if I'm going somewhere. A lot of times it is hard to hit the live call, right? Just because, you're working or you have things to do. I always have it on my calendar, but if I can't hit the live call, I know I can get on and hit it after. And then here's a link to FAQs. Seriously, FAQs are probably about 1 to 2 years old. They are absolutely the bee's knees. I'm telling you, it is like the best thing ever. I can go in there and find answers to questions I didn't even know I had. You just type in a word, I can't even think, but you'll type in a word in the search, and then all these other things will come up, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that, or oh gosh, I didn't know there would be an FAQ on that topic. So it's really, really good information. And this is important. And I have 3 dogs, by the way. And when one starts barking, they usually all start barking. Okay. So let's go into this business quick start guide right here. Has everybody gone through this? Okay. So you all know what your coach ID is. That's super, super duper important. You should be able to just pop that off anytime you need to. Also, you should know that anytime you contact Coach Relations, they're going to ask you for the last 4 digits of your social security number. So you should all know that as well. So this is where your Beachbody Coach websites are, right? It's super, super easy. And sometimes people get confused with this. Beachbodycoach.com, every single one of these is going to be populated with your screen name. So what did you set your screen name up as? Did you set it up as, 452SYG? For some strange reason, that's like your birth date and your kid's initials. I recommend, you set up your screen name, and I think you can change it to be your name if possible. Now, sometimes that may be taken, but one thing you want to remember as a Beachbody coach is that your name is your brand. So I know when I first became a coach, I was trying to think of a cute, catchy name. And so I came up with Deb's Fit Groove. Okay, that's fun and catchy, but I'm Deborah Baska, and when I introduce myself to people, when I meet people on Facebook, I'm Deborah Baska. And so when I set up my second business center, I just call it Deborah Baska, because that's why my Facebook page is Deborah Baska Fit, Fun, and Fabulous, because I was taught, again, as I started learning more about being a coach, that really your name is your brand. That you are what you're selling, quite honestly. And I know we hate to say the S word, selling, but you are what you're selling. You're selling a lifestyle, and you are the representative of that lifestyle. So just remember that. You do have 3 websites. You've got, so for instance, it's nice to know that, because like the Ultimate Reset, not everybody's done the Ultimate Reset as a coach, as a new coach. And it's a kind of a complicated program. It's complicated. There's a lot to know about it. And so you don't have to know everything there is to know about it. You can send people to the ultimatereset.com/your screen name. They can learn more about it from there. And there's videos and things like that. Coach Relations, I would suggest you have this phone number in your phone. FAQ is right here as well. The best way to contact Coach Relations is via your back office, your online office. If you can avoid calling them on the telephone, I would do that. Just because anytime you call any customer service on the telephone, it's going to take longer than, if you can just send something off in an email. And I want to show you real quick. If you don't know, down here, there's FAQ at the bottom of your screen. So in your Coach Online Office, in the footer, policies and procedures, that's something you should really browse through. Christine Dwyer, our top upline coach, who is absolutely the most successful coach in this business ever, she commented that when she joined as a coach, she read policies and procedures front to back. It's like, 100 pages long. But seriously, you need to know what's in policies and procedures. Coach FAQ, that's, a great place to get on. And FAQ is not tied to the online office. It's actually a separate website. And that's something you want to know, because if for some reason the Team Beachbody website goes down, which it does, sometimes it's down for scheduled maintenance, etc., you can access FAQ via just the web. Contact us. This is where I want to direct you. So I like to do live chats with Coach Relations. So for instance, like right here, live chat, because you can get on right then and there with a Coach Relations rep. And when the call is complete, they will send you a transcript of the conversation with a incident number. And the reason it's important to get an incident number is because if you need to contact them again about the issue, you can refer to the incident number. And that's what I don't like about making a phone call. You don't get an incident number with a phone call. So I contact live chat if I have a customer that needs to have their order switched over to me. If I need to, I don't know what all I do it for, but that's what I do it for a lot. The other way to contact Coach Relations is right here. Click here, and you can send an email right here. Well, right here. Click here to send an email. And the reason why it's nice to do it from here versus your email mean, you can do it either way, but number one, you always, when you contact Coach Relations, it always has to be from the email that you have set your account up with. So if your account is set up with your home email and you're at work and you try to contact Coach Relations from your work email, they're not going to recognize the email as being attached to a coach. So that's just what you need to know. So that's why I like doing it from the online office, because it's really simple. It has, things you can fill in, and you get an incident number. So one thing you need to know is whenever you or your customer submits an email to Coach Relations, you're going to get an autoresponder that says, we've received your incident, here's the incident number, and we will be in touch with you shortly. So it's basically an acknowledgement. And then you will get the conclusion email at a different time. But if you don't get that autoresponder, that means for some reason it didn't go through. And so that's why, when you send it from a regular email account, who knows? They could have typed it in wrong. It could have gone to spam or whatever. But if you send it from here, it's going to get through. So that's why I like sending here. But you need to know that for your customers too, because sometimes they may send a request to, cancel their Shakeology, for instance, or their club account. And then they don't get it canceled. And you'll say, well, did you get an autoresponder? Well, no, I never did. Well, that means it didn't go through. And maybe, like I said, they typed in the email address incorrectly. There could be reasons for that. So I always tell my customers whenever they're doing something like that, go ahead and send this email and you'll get an autoresponder, and then you'll get another email to confirm that the action has taken place. So this is all just, random information, things that I've learned here and there, but I think it's really important. So let's go back to our Coach Kickstart. There we are. Okay. So this Coach Kickstart has, a Quick Start. It has a lot of links in it. So I want to make sure that people are going through the links. Sometimes you can click through or just kind of browse through it quickly. There is an archive of all the National Wake Up Calls. That's pretty handy as well. Here, how to set up your profile and website. I mean, you've got to have your club account set up. I will say your club account. You've got to have your account set up to be eligible for leads. So you got to have your picture in there. You got to have your biography in there. You got to have a before picture. It doesn't necessarily have to be you in a bathing suit. It can just be you, at the county fair, before, whatever. I mean, Beachbody doesn't know if these are your, at what point in time they were taken, but these fields, these things have to be populated. So that's it. How to understand the value of the Beachbody Club. That's important because we have Beachbody On Demand, which has driven the value of our club account up exponentially. It's just an amazing. And in case you didn't know, we now have Beachbody On Demand exclusive workouts. So the trainers are actually producing workouts that can only be accessed via the club account. So that just adds more value. The club account is billed quarterly. It's about $38.87 plus tax. So you as a coach, if you signed up with the challenge pack, you were automatically enrolled in the free 30-day trial of club. And then you will be billed on day 31 for the next quarter unless you cancel that. If for some reason you absolutely don't want to pay that, you don't find any value in it, you can go ahead and cancel after you've been billed and they will refund your money. So don't worry about that. But the same thing with your customers, they actually can opt in to the free trial or opt out. When they purchase their challenge pack, it asks them if they want to opt out of the free trial. And so that way they won't get to try the club account for free, but they also don't have to worry about getting billed for that down the road. Versus, maybe they want to try it out for free. There's a meal planner in there that's pretty cool. And then all those Beachbody On Demand workouts. If you purchase a program, so say you purchase the 21-day fix and you also are a club account member, you will have access to the 21-day fix, the full program. If you haven't bought the club account, if you haven't purchased the 21-day fix, but you do have the club account, then you'll have access to one sample workout. So that's nice too. I mean, I have customers that they travel a lot, they don't have a DVD player on their laptop, and the only way they can participate in any of the Beachbody programs is if it's online. So this has been a really nice addition to our catalog. Let's see, the memory jogger right here, I've asked you in your prerequisite post to create a list of all the people that you know. this is a great tool, because remember this, everyone that has a body is a potential customer or coach, because we all need to take care of our bodies. So, the memory jogger helps you jog your memory, like, oh, my postman and my dog groomer and the lady that always checks me out at the grocery store and my kids' teachers and the PTA president and all that stuff. So, it sounds a little daunting, I think, to think about, oh my gosh, you mean I have to talk to all these people? Well, you really eventually should, because like I said, everybody, you never know who needs the help that we have to offer. So having them on a list right now doesn't necessarily mean I want you to call them all tomorrow, right? But again, having them on your list, I think, opens your eyes to the possibilities. Like, there's a lot of people that I could possibly help. So you've got the memory jogger and a contact list here. Again, there are links here if you want to use those as tools. Our 3 vital behaviors over here, very, very important that you understand those. I mean, Carl Deichler a couple years ago was able, he kind of polled all the successful coaches about what they do, what they think are the most important things to do to build their business. And of all the things that came in, he was able to boil it down to these 3 vital behaviors. And if you do these things and do them day in and day out, week in and week out, month in, month out, you will be successful with this business. And so as we go through our new coach training, you'll see us dive into these elements more so that we give you more tools about how to do that. Invite is a place that we spend a lot of time on teaching you different tools and techniques on how to do that. So I'm not going to talk a lot about that today, but suffice it to say that you can't be a ninja coach. And what I mean by that is, if nobody knows you're a coach, then it's serving no value to anybody or to you either. So don't be a ninja coach. You can't, don't hide your light under a bushel, right? And don't be afraid to talk to people. So I want you to just kind of get it out of your head right now that you're going to be having to sell stuff to people. You are here to help people with products you personally know work. You got a whole house full of stuff that you would recommend to your best friend. Beachbody is no different. And if you can't recommend the products, if you don't personally believe that they are all that, then you're probably shouldn't be a coach, just to be honest. When I see people evaluating whether or not to be a coach, and they're looking at, they're looking at all these other multi-level marketing companies and they're assessing this and that. And, I'm just thinking, either you want to be a Beachbody coach or you don't. If you want to go sell stuff, people are probably a lot more likely to buy 31 bags than they are to buy a workout program. Now, if you want to just go sell stuff, be Pampered Chef, and, people will buy a knife peeler and an apple corer and stuff like that. It's really expensive. It's a lot more expensive to get started, but you know what I'm saying? So if somebody's just really all like, I don't know if I should do this one or that one, I'm kind of like, maybe you're not really a right fit for our team, because on our team, we're only doing this because we absolutely believe in what we're doing, right? I mean, I wouldn't do this if I didn't, because I don't like to sell stuff. And you know what? This is the closest I would ever want to be to doing that, just because I feel like I am doing something that's making a difference in people's lives. Let's see. Okay. So here we've got this stuff. So that's just a quick overview here of this. Again, there's links here. There's the Coach Basics Participant Guide, which I've already given you in our group. And then we can go down here. Here's your action plan. So I would really, really suggest that you fill this out. And in fact, I may be asking you to share this with us in our training. The number one most important part about this is the top box, my why. And again, we'll talk more about this in training. And sometimes on these calls, I'll ask everyone to share their why, but I don't want to do that tonight because I don't want to take up that much time, because I've heard this time and again, and I already knew this because I experienced this, but I was actually on a podcast listening to Chalene Johnson. Definitely you should listen to her podcast. Personal development is one of our 3 vital behaviors. It's really easy to listen to a podcast while you're driving in the car or while you're jogging. Her podcasts are called The Chalene Show, which is just about, improving yourself. And then there is Build Your Tribe, which is her business podcast. So those are 2 I would start with. But she talked about when you're talking about your why, that a lot of times the first answer is not really the right one. So I know with my coaches that I work with, I have them fill out the About Me form, which is in our training document, so you can access that as well. And the About Me form asks them about their why. And a lot of times people will say, why do you want to be a coach? A lot of times I'll see, well, I want to help people, and I really love fitness, so I thought it would be, I really want to help people do it. I'm like, okay, that's great. Okay, okay, everybody wants to help people. You don't sign up to be a Beachbody coach unless you do. If you want to go sell stuff, you're going to go sign up with some other company. Why is being a coach important to you? And I'll tell you my why. My why about being a Beachbody coach when I started, and your why evolves over time, but when I started being a Beachbody coach, my why was a little less intense. And I don't even know that I was asked to describe what my why was, but I basically, wanted to make some extra money, and I was already using the product, so I wanted the discount. I mean, really, it wasn't real deep because I didn't really know what all Beachbody could do for, as a business. And I wasn't really asked to examine my why. This is kind of, new stuff since I signed on as a coach. But when I left my job, when I was at that crossroads, when I was asked to leave my job, to be honest, and I was earning $600 a month as a coach, and I was now asked to leave my 6-figure income job. And I can assure you my $600 a month as a coach did not replace my income. So what was my why? My why was, I am not going back to corporate America. I had spent 20 years there. I was miserable. I felt awful about myself. I hated every single day. It caused me such anxiety and such low self-esteem doing what I was doing for those, especially in the latter years. It wasn't good for my health. It wasn't good for my family. I had sacrificed a lot to do the career that I had, and I was not going to go back into that. Not now that I had another option. I shudder to think if I had not found Beachbody 6 months earlier and started dabbling in it, where I would have been when that came to pass, that I was now no longer employed in the job I thought I was going to retire in. I can't even imagine what I would have done. I mean, I would have had to have gone and find another job, unless I had some, aha moment that said, Deborah, this is your chance to do whatever you want to do. What is it? But see, I didn't even know what else I wanted to do, because I thought anything else I want to do, I'm going to have to go back to school. I'm going to have to start at the bottom. And it's like, there's nothing else I can do. I'm like an old dog that can't learn a new trick, right? there's nothing. So when I had Beachbody though. And I said, I'm not going to go back to corporate America. I see what this can do. I have people, my coach, my sponsors coach, all these, I listen to the National Wake Up Call every week, and I hear coaches saying how they have changed their lives, how they have built this into a business that pays, feeds their family, pays their bills. That's what I want to do. And so that was my why. And I'm telling you, it was a desperate why. And I was reading my personal development. Jim Rohn, I posted it in our team page, gave the, I think it was the eight things that are more important to success than money. And desperation was on the list. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh, what was that? And then I read it, and I'm like, that's exactly what I've always said. People that are successful in this business, it's because they have a desperate why. So again, when I first started, I didn't have a desperate why, and I may have just dabbled along like that forever. I don't know. Doing my job, hating it every day, loving my Beachbody business, but really not brave enough to do anything different because, my family was being fed. So don't wait until you're out of work. Don't wait until you have some catastrophic thing for your why to get super desperate. Think about the life that you want. Think about the time you want to have with your kids. Think about, Are you working 2 jobs? Are you, working days while your husband works nights and you never see each other and your kids are in daycare? Think about, the bills that you have and the student loans and the debt and how you're living paycheck to paycheck, and that you're okay. You may be okay right now, but you were not made to be just okay. And I'm a Christian. I wear my faith on my sleeve. I'm not going to shove it down anybody's throat, but I truly believe that you were not made to just be okay. That's not how God creates things. And so most people don't know that. And I believe that's one of the things we do as coaches is we help people understand you were not made to just be okay. You were made to be amazing. And whether that be in their professional life or in their personal life. So I want you to spend time on this why. I want your why to make you cry. I want it to be something that when you think about, gosh, if this came true, oh my gosh, it would bring tears to your eyes. Share it with your family. Talk to your husband, your wife about it. Talk to your kids about it. Gosh, what would you think? And maybe part of your why is, gosh, I've never taken my kids on a vacation. I would love, and the money that I'm making now, I will never be able to take them to a Disney World vacation. What if I could do that? What if we could have that as our family why, as our family vision? Okay, mommy's gonna work tonight for, an hour on the computer after the kids go to bed, and this is why. I will tell you that when I became a coach, we had this dream as a family to go to Atlantis, Bahamas. And we had my husband had listened to The Secret, and I had watched the movie as well, a couple years earlier. And so we were all about visioning. And so he found this picture of Atlantis in a magazine. We tore it out. He blew it up and he framed it behind glass and everything, this big magazine ad of Atlantis, and hung it on the wall so that we would always see it as we walked by. Well, that hung on our wall for a couple years, right? And like I said, I was making a 6-figure income. My husband was making a 6-figure income, but we could not afford to go to Atlantis. So when I became a coach, more money, spend more money. That's not what Beachbody teaches, which is a whole nother thing, but that's what I love about Beachbody too. They want people to be healthy and fit in all aspects of their life. So when I found out when I first went on as a coach, I found out about this Success Club thing, and I learned that there was a trip every year, and the trip was to Atlantis, Bahamas. Well, I signed up on May 29th. The Success Club trip is a year-long thing that you earn. You work on it all year. And so I'm like, I could never earn that in 6 months. I mean, I was, but you know what? I started making Success Club, and I started to see those points accumulate, and I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I could do this. And so I shared it with my family, and they all were excited. And my kids are like, Mom, how many Success Club points do you have? And they're like 10 and 12. They don't even know that. They just know that Mom needs Success Club points so that we can go to Atlantis. Long story short, it was still even like the last month, and I was still quite a few points away from getting where I needed to be. And they did a double points promotion for December. And I was able to hit the number of points I needed to get an expense-paid trip to Atlantis, Bahamas for my family in my first 6 months as a coach. So that was the why that I had before I lost my job, right? So, whatever your why, again, that was something my whole family could get behind. Now, again, my why evolved. When I lost the job, now my why is even bigger. Well, the trip next year was a cruise. So, the whole family was like, yeah, Mom, we're going on that cruise, right? You're on top of that. But I also knew Mom needed to replace a 6-figure income because, that was number one. We had to pay off all the bills that we had, right? Today we don't have any car payments. We don't have any debt. We are paying off one final credit card. I will tell you straight up. The only other debt we have is just our mortgage, and we don't really have plans to pay that off right now. So, from a financial position, it's not because I'm making more money than I was as a corporate America person. That's not why we're paying off debt. It's because again, the Beachbody mindset teaches you about financial freedom. And financial freedom is about being financially free, not in debt, at whatever income level you're at, right? And we actually have awards that we recognize coaches for hitting different levels of financial freedom. So that's important to understand. So your biggest assignment that I have for you is to fill out this why. And I want you to actually post it. I would love for you to share it. Take a picture of it. I want you to see your why every single day. So maybe it's a screensaver on your phone. Maybe it's a screensaver on your computer. Maybe it's just a piece of paper that you take to your refrigerator or to your bathroom mirror, because I want you to see it every day, because what you think about is what manifests in your life. It truly is. So a book that I highly recommend is called The Attractor Factor. And I listened to that on audio, and I have never read it on hard copy, but I love the audio. I just love hearing. It's Joe Vitale. That just taught me so much about how I think, because I was a stinking thinking Debbie Downer kind of thinker before I got into Beachbody. And when I listened to that Attractor Factor, I realized how much negative thinking I was doing about myself and about my life. And now I don't dare think negative thoughts. I don't dare, because I don't want to bring that into my life. And so that's how strongly I believe in that. So that's why you need to look at that why every day. You need to look at it and say, I can do this. I will do this. I am doing this. So that's the most important thing about this call tonight. Other than that, we're going to, in our training, I'm going to give you daily to-do lists, activity, so that you know exactly what you need to be doing every day. Make sure that you look at the success starters here. I want to tell you just a little bit real quick. So if you're not familiar with Success Club, that's something that you're going to learn about in the training, and you will learn more about it by clicking on this link, right, that tells you all about it. But you want to be a success starter. So if you joined as a coach in July, or if you joined in August, then you can be a success starter, because it's about what you do your first full 3 months as a coach. So if you signed on in July and you didn't hit Success Club in July, you can still have August be your first full month. So a lot of you have already hit it. Gosh, I'm so impressed with, it's like going off to school. It's like the new class of coaches. I just am so impressed. Each class of coaches just does even better than the one before. And I just think that's because I think we're just evolving. And as a team, we're just learning so much more about how to duplicate success. And that's really what this is all about. It's duplicating success. It's not about recreating the wheel. So if you signed up in August and you don't hit Success Club this month, you have September to be your first full month. But again, my advice is, unless you sign up on August 31st, which you didn't because it's not August 31st, try to hit Success Club that first month. Just get it out of the way, get it under your belt. And with this 10-day training, then our goal is to teach you how to get those first 3 customers. And 3 customers is what you need to hit Success Club. Because a challenge pack is 2 points. You need 5 points to hit Success Club. 3 customers for the challenge pack is 6 points. So, that's why I think, since we started this new coach kickstart a couple months ago, I'm really seeing new coaches hit it a lot more frequently. So that's really exciting. But you win a free ticket to Coach Summit. So that's like a $250 value. So that's really, really a big why. If nothing else is a big why, it's I want to win that ticket. Because I want to be there. It's in Nashville next year. I know there's a wait list right now, but if you're a success starter, you get bumped to the top. You're in. So don't worry about it. The other thing that you need to understand about is Emerald. And some of you have already hit Emerald, but Emerald is basically you plus 2. It's you and 2 coaches. So when you look at your graphical genealogy, you see yourself right here. If you're looking at me, you see yourself. My head is myself. And then you got 2 people on each side that are your personally sponsored coaches. Then you're an Emerald. you're going to see people in your downline that aren't your coaches. You're going to like say, hey, and this is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to say, hey, I got all these coaches showing up in underneath me. Who are these people? Or, what do I need to do with them? You don't need to do anything with them. They are other people's coaches. They are your teamwork makes the dream work coaches. And so that's what I want you to remember. That's your cycle volume. So let's just take a quick look. Those of you that are on the video, you can see my actual online office. So I'm looking at graphical genealogy. And I do encourage you to play around with the menus on your Coach Online Office because there's a lot of cool stuff in there that you may not even know about. Let's see, why am I not? Oh, I can't get into the Coach Online Office right now. Or at least graphical. Let's see if I can try that again. Graphical genealogy. There we go. So this is Deb 2. This is Deb Mini-Me, right? So here's Deb. And I have a personally sponsored coach right here. And I can tell by looking at this that this side here must be my power leg. And when we're talking about power legs, I mean, this can get a little confusing, but a lot of you have been a coach for a few weeks or a couple months, so you probably have already experienced the confusion and are like, okay, clarify me. It depends on where you are in the organization. So if you're talking to me or to another coach and you're saying, well, should I put them on my left leg or my right leg? We don't know what that means because we aren't seeing your back office. Power leg, weak leg, that's the terms that you need to know. Or power leg is basically your teamwork makes the dream work. Those are where the coaches that your upline is going to be placing, they're going to show up on that side. So wherever you're seeing those coaches that are mysteriously appearing, that's your power leg. And the reason we call it your power leg is because the volume is being powerfully built by the team. Your building leg or your weak leg, building leg I think is a nicer term, is the leg you have to build. Nobody's building that for you. Nobody's placing coaches there because it's an inside leg of your upline. So the way this pans out is basically that you have help building half your business, but you don't have help building the whole thing, right? Because we own our own business. So, like, well, how do I build that weak leg? Well, you have to build it. You have to place coaches there. And then those coaches, the volume that they do and the coaches they sign on, that's how you build volume on that weak leg. So long story short, we're talking about emeralds. So I signed up this person right here as one of my first PS coaches on this Deb's second center. But notice I have these other coaches here that are not PS. Well, when Avi signed up, that did not make me emerald because she is not a personally sponsored coach of Deborah. So you can see that before I got around to making this girl here an emerald, before Deborah got around to becoming an emerald, her teamwork makes the dream work was adding coaches. And this is where her first personally sponsored coach on this side is placed. Okay? So when this coach came on board, now I'm an emerald. Okay? So it's also important that you know that the coaches have to be active. They have to have 50 PV. So I can look right here and I can see the projected PV for Lori is 272. No problem. She's got 50 PV. I can look down here and see, stop moving. This coach is basically a canceled coach. So if she was my only coach on this side, these people here don't count towards my emerald, right? So if she was my only personally sponsored coach and she goes inactive like this and has no PV, now I'm not emerald anymore. But fortunately, I have more coaches right under here, so we don't have to worry about that, right? So anyway, that's what that means whenever you're looking at your graphical genealogy. So you may say, well, strategy is to sign up your spouse. I mean, that's really, with my husband, if I looked at my first business center, he's right here because I signed him up right away. And that's why his business gets all the volume on that leg of my business. If I signed him up, a year after I'd been a coach, he would be somewhere way down, 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 down. We can just keep scrolling down. This just goes on for days and days. He'd be way down there. He wouldn't get any of the volume on this stuff that's on top of him, right? So his income would basically, be some exponentially number less than it is. It could be half, it could be a quarter, whatever. It just wouldn't be as much, right? So, my husband's business center makes about $1,000 a week. He doesn't work the business. He works with me. He helps me do a lot of things behind the scenes, but he does not get online and sign coaches and bring in customers. That's not what he does. I do that because it's another revenue stream for my business. So, but when I signed him up, I have to make sure he remains active, right? So that's kind of the sticking point that a lot of new coaches have. They're like, well, I'm paying for my Shakeology and now I'm going to have to pay for this for my husband. At first it's going to be an expense, but I can assure you that I have never regretted doing it. And no coach that is building their business and wanting to make a significant income and wanting to make a nice income you're not going to ever regret doing that. If you don't build your business and you have your husband signed up, then yeah, it's just going to be a drain on you. So you will want to reevaluate that. You can cancel him. If you say, well, I thought I was going to do a lot with this, but it's really not working out that way for me. And, this is kind of more of an expense, then just cancel him, right? Or just, don't make him active anymore. It's your decision. Nothing with Beachbody is irrevocable. It's like, done. There's no waiting period. There's no penalty clause. It's just done. So, that's my recommendation. My first two coaches were my mom and my husband. My mom wanted to go on Shakeology, and she is, I made her a diamond, which helped me advance in my business. Her business center makes really good money. She doesn't work the business at all, but she's a big supporter of it. And I like to be able to help her, with that. And then like my husband, I made him a diamond, and that helped me boost my earnings. And, someday I'll make him a 2-star diamond, and that helps our business as well. So again, it gives me lots of areas to help boost the income. This is big picture stuff for you guys. And you're like, your eyes may be rolling back in your head. Like, I'm just trying to figure out how to get my first customer in a challenge group. But I want to give you some big picture because, again, for me, part of my why was based upon what I was told is possible. And even though I didn't understand it, I didn't understand how that $14 per cycle as an emerald was going to amass into a 6-figure income. I didn't understand how that could happen. I believed it because I was told this is what happens. I'm like, okay, well, you're making, the kind of money I would like to make. I will believe that you know what you're talking about. So again, that's what I wanted to go over, just a really deep dive into what you need to know to get started with this training. I'm going to unshare my screen, and I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions. I know some of you have, like I said, you've been coaches for a little while, your Emerald, your Success Club, and I know you have some questions because you've asked in different forums. Is there something that you would like me to discuss before we get off this call? Don't be shy. Do you know how to unmute yourself? You're all in. Oh.
And
I'm muting you all again. That's too noisy. You can also type it in the chat box if you have a question and you don't want to talk on the phone. So before I say goodbye, before I say going, gone, don't make me beg. It's just like our teacher used to say in school. So you know everything there is to know. You're going to ace this test. No questions asked. All right. Let's see what the question is. 50 PV. It's not $50. It's 50 personal volume points. It's kind of roughly an estimate that $1 equals a volume point, but it's not exact. All of your volume points are shown in your in your store. So there is no listing of things that equal 50 PV. You're not going to find a list of that anywhere. But you can go into when you go into shop, since you're a coach, you're going to see PV listed for every single product. So you'll start to know what those things are. But some examples, like a 3-day refresh with the Shakeology packets is 52 PV. So some people do a refresh every month. Some of them you can get it on a quarterly basis. A lot of the Boost products and the Performance Line products, I mean, you can combine things to equal 50 PV. So you can order, like for me, like I might order P90X bars, those are 10. I might order some energy and endurance, that's 15. Okay, that's 35. Okay, so now I'm gonna get some Cordastra because my husband loves Cordastra. So you can add things up to equal 50 PV. And so once I signed up my husband, and once you sign up your husband, the only thing you will ever order under your account is your Shakeology, because everything else you want to be creating volume. So when your coaches order products and when their customers order products under them, right, that creates volume. And that's what you get paid on. So for me, when I'm going to order Performance Line and Boosts and supplements and another workout program and a 3-day refresh, I'm going to order that on my husband's account so that he gets PV and then I get paid on that PV. If I order it under my own account, I don't get anything. I don't get a commission. I don't get a volume. I don't get paid on my own volume, like my own personal volume. I see a little confusion, but it'll start to sink in. Just trust me when I say the only thing you need to order on your own account once you sign up your spouse is your own Shakeology. And the reason you need to order your Shakeology is because that's what you need for Success Club. You need to have 90 PV on auto ship products to hit Success Club. And you can piecemeal that together too with other auto ship products. Like for my husband, for instance, he makes Success Club. Yes, he does. Honey, you made Success Club this month. That's what I tell him. You made Success Club. Good job. He's like, okay, thanks. So he makes Success Club. And so we use Shakeology on his account too, because we drink a lot of Shakeology. But I could piecemeal together, a bunch of different home direct products to get him his 90 PV. Previously, I remember you could go online and go step by step with your customer as they did their order. I can't seem to do that now. Do you know where you can do that? I don't know how you did that, Nicole. I don't remember being able to do that. If I wanted to walk my I don't ever walk my customers through an order per se. Typically, I will send them something you should know, and I'll put this in our training, is simplecoachlinks.com. I will show you that because that's so important. Simplecoachlinks.com is a really super easy way to make sure your customer gets the link that they need. If I could type, it would be super duper wonderful. Simplecoachlinks.com. So you pop in your coach ID. So for me, when I have all these different business centers, I get to decide which business center I want the order to go under. And this makes sure that so say somebody wants a 3-day refresh, because that's what I'm promoting right now. I can just go in here this populates this link with my coach ID so that my new customer doesn't get confused about putting my coach ID in. They don't accidentally go to the to get the 3-day refresh without the challenge pack. They go directly to the 3-day refresh challenge pack. This particular website has challenge packs, it has fitness programs, and it has nutritional programs. It also has your club membership link, etc. So I recommend using this because it just makes it really easy to give your customers exactly what they want. Before, Nicole, I think back in the day when you were a newer coach, it was, okay, go to beachbodycoach.com/Deborah Baska and click on fitness programs, trainer, Autumn Calabrese, and then click on the 21-day fix. And it was like this crazy step-by-step thing. We don't have to do that now. Simplecoachlinks.com. The other thing that you can do, the other thing you need to know is if your customer, if your prospect already has a Team Beachbody account, the order will default to the coach that account is with. You can only have one account and one coach. So this link, even though it has your coach ID in it, it doesn't supersede the relationship that the customer's account already has. So this can happen a lot, especially when you're a new coach. You know, you've got your friends coming to you saying, yeah, I want to do that. And they get a pack and you don't see the order, and it's because they already had an account. And sometimes when you ask them, they don't even know that they already had an account. You know, if anybody's ever bought anything from teambeachbody.com, they have an account and they have a coach, whether or not they know it. So don't argue with them when you ask them if they have a coach and they say no. Just say, oh, well, do you have a Team Beachbody account? Oh, well, yeah, I think I have one from when I ordered Insanity back when I was 12, right? You know, back in the day. Then you'll say, oh, no problem. You know, you were assigned a coach, but, that's fine. So let me help you get that changed over to me. And then you can get them changed over to you, and we will go over that at another time. But if you need to do that before then, I have a video on that. So that's important to know. And then the other thing, hopefully you've already downloaded your Coach mobile app, because that was a part of your prerequisite instructions, but you can access it on your computer as well, coachmobile.teambeachbody.com. And I love using this to sign up a coach or a new customer, somebody that's never, that doesn't have an account, right? So again, you can put in your coach information. And for me, since I have several accounts, I need to make sure which account I'm putting it in. But the Coach mobile app makes it super easy. So they cannot change anything in this. I use this for new coaches all the time, because when you sign up somebody that already has an account as a coach, they can change their sponsor ID at that time. Now, a customer cannot change their sponsor themselves. That has to be done through coach relations. But when somebody is signing up as a coach, they're going to be asked if they want to keep the coach they have, if they already have an account, or if they want to change it. A lot of times when I would tell people, be sure you change it to, they would miss that step, and they would end up getting signed up under the coach they had that they didn't even know they had. So with the Coach mobile app, they can't change it. They can't change anything once you send this link. It's got you in it. It's got the challenge pack they want. It's got the flavor of Shakeology they want. It's super easy. So that's what I recommend when you're signing up a coach. Just do it this way, and there can be no mistakes. So those are two tools that you want to make sure that you have. Makes things easier. All right. I don't see any more questions, and at 6 o'clock here and wherever it is your time is probably dinner time, family time. So thanks for getting on this call. I look forward to seeing you guys bust a move in the next couple weeks and finishing up this month strong. If you're shooting for Emerald this month, your deadline is the 26th, so it's Wednesday. That's your Emerald deadline, so that you can get leads next month. Your Success Club deadline is the last day of the month, which is August 31st. So 2 dates to keep in mind. I will talk to you guys later, and have a great, great Sunday.